I'm gonna climb up on that mountain, and I'll get the one I love. I don't care about Clifton Clovers.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And a good Monday afternoon. Wyoming Sports Talk Today being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, where they have for you at all locations, even the Taco John's food truck on the south side. They have their Sierra chicken. Absolutely delicious. And here for a limited time only, Taco John's of Cheyenne. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. 19s, gotta go. 20s are coming in. Matter of fact, the 20 Telluride on the lot. Man, what a great ride for that SUV. See my good friends AJ, Greg, and the entire crew over at Key of Cheyenne. Take a test drive. Take home the key of your dreams today. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high technology way, and done everything in between, because Platte Valley Bank offers all of those services. See my good friends Rick and the crew over on Banda High, and again on the east side as you're heading home over at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, Rain City's Place, where they say, come on by, you must try. And I give it 2 thumbs up. The Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich. Wash it down with their Strawberry Passion Tea Lemonade. Of course, you can do the chicken and waffle fries. You can have breakfast. Hey, they serve up 3 squares 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange with 2 convenient drive-thrus. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Gene and the great staff over there will take good care of you. Convenient drive-thru, or you can do your business inside. Monday through Saturday, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto Glass and Detail Center. That is located on Pershing Boulevard, the Auto Body Shop on Dunn Avenue. Part of Lennox Enterprises, serving our community for 25 years. We are so thankful that Dick Lennox, along with his daughter Heather, have continued the tradition of being there when we need them. Lennox Enterprises, home of Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, offering a 3.1 APR right now. APY, that is, on their 27-month CD. So see Tim and the wonderful staff over there at First Year Bank. Or maybe you don't want to do a 27-month CD. They have a CD that will appease your needs at First Year Bank. Cross the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Paisan cuisine at its best. And it's always fresh. It's always delicious. And, again, it's been around for a long time. Family-owned, family-operated. Mondello's Pizzeria. See Joe and the gang today over at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week. Time to get to our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Recapping from this past weekend, as it's still going on, but at least it's bracket play right now. But for Cheyenne Post 6 in action down in Farmington, New Mexico, it was kind of a rough go in the pool play. At least quickly recapping Friday's contest, 2 of them. First up against D-Bat, Texas. Unfortunately, it was an 11-2 loss for Cheyenne Post 6. The at least win for Cheyenne Post 6 this past weekend was against the Florida Legends on Game 2 of Friday. They won that contest 15-10. Saturday's lone contest against the Colton Nighthawks. They at least lost that game 2-1. Sunday, yesterday, this was start of bracket play. Post 6 taking on Nashville Knights, lost that contest 4-2. So with Cheyenne Post 6, they moved to the losers bracket. They will play tomorrow at 10 a.m. down in Farmington. They will take on the Phenom Texas team, again, as they are competing in the losers bracket. And also, too, do want to remind folks, as I talked with Coach Adam Calisi of the Cheyenne Extreme, at least for softball, yes, coming up this Thursday, August 1st, over at Converse Softball Complex. Registration at 5:30, tryouts 6 to 8. Again, Cheyenne Extreme tryouts. There is no tryout fee. Again, go check that out if you're interested. Again, competing for the Cheyenne Extreme.
Major League Baseball games getting underway when we get out of here. Braves at the Nationals at Nats Park. Diamondbacks Marlins will be at Marlins Park. It will be the Pirates and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. 6 o'clock game will have the Blue Jays and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. The last place Colorado Rockies at Coors tonight will play host to the Los Angeles Dodgers, the first place team in the National League West. And matter of fact, not even looking behind them right now. 98 degrees currently in downtown Denver. Kenta Maeda on the hill for the Dodgers. John Gray will toe the rubber for the Rocks. In the late games, the Halos at Angel Stadium, Anaheim, they'll host the Detroit Tigers. And the Baltimore Orioles in interleague play will take on the San Diego Padres at Petco. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
Make your drive anything but average with the 2019 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller, and with the 2019 Kia Sorento, you get similar features like the competition standard models, but spend less. That puts more money in your pocket. Dynamax all-wheel drive, Smart Power liftgate, and Surround View monitor are some of the many features available on the Kia Sorento. Come into Kia of Cheyenne for exceptional value. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
The end of the summer is in sight. Did you accomplish all of your home improvements and remodeling projects? Whether you're remodeling your kitchen or adding a little extra space for your growing family, the Home Equity Line of Credit with Platte Valley Bank can help you finish what you want to complete this summer. So stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a Home Equity Line of Credit with Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All lines of credit are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today's sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 83 with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low down to 54 degrees. Tuesday's forecast. Mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85 with a chance for showers and afternoon thunder. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and evening thunder. Our low dropping down to 57 degrees. And for Wednesday, mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to the Monday edition of Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti. We bring in our first guest who will bring closure officially to the 123rd Daddy of All Cheyenne Frontier Days. And, of course, when we say the Daddy of All, that's what it's all about. It's the rodeo. All the other stuff that is thrown in, the pancake breakfast, the concerts, the United States Air Force Thunderbirds, that's just like frosting on the cake. But the rodeo is the big dog. First year, now moving into a second year. Chad Mathews, the rodeo chairman, graciously coming back to talk with us. let's look at the rodeo.
I was going to say, first time we had him in, we talked controversy a bit, but this time we're going to talk about the positives.
Yeah, everything went off without a hitch, to be real candid. And you, Chad, have to say, wow, you and your staff really pulled this one off.
It was a great ride, and it went off without a hitch as far as anybody knows, and us included. There was, obviously, like we talked, there was controversy early on in the deal, but the Bulldoggers, we had enough of them to show up, and we had a good show. We had fast runs. We had the wrecks that everybody likes to see. Calf roping was the same way. Tie-down roping, we had good times all the way through, and the new format was just an absolute success out there. The fans were engaged. The sponsors were engaged. As it went along, we heard sponsors poking each other, and, hey, this guy's got to be 82 to make it. This guy's got to be 77 to stay in this deal. So it was exactly what we were looking for, and super exciting.
The stock seems to get more ornerier every year, and the bulls. As I appreciate the write-ups that we got in the paper, but the bulls seem to get more and more tougher on the Cowboys. Now, again, is it the way they are being prepared for Frontier Days? Is it the big arena that the bulls are charging out harder? Cowboys, do they need to be stronger? What's your opinion on all of that?
I think that it was a perfect storm in the bull riding. The weather that seemed to work really well for us as far as not canceling any events, that cooler weather makes them horses and bulls really fire. You combine that with some bull riders that normally would ride bulls like that and would make one little mistake here or there, and the bulls are all big and strong enough that if any of them, Sage Kimsey, any of them makes a mistake, those bulls can beat them. So I think it was a perfect storm, and it was exciting to watch. For a while, we didn't know if we were going to have enough of them get anything ridden. But it turned out good. We had a really nice bull ride and really great rodeo Sunday.
Again, it was just a perfect storm where at least weather, as we kind of kid about off air, as we had so much rain, so much thunderstorms, so spring and summer for the past 10 days, it was relatively quiet and relatively nice out there at CFD for these athletes to get it done. And whether it was saddlebronc riding, roping, whatever it was. Again, events went on without a hitch, and it was another phenomenal CFD that folks got to see. Speaking of the folks out there, again, with the new tournament, at least style, as you mentioned, again, it was very fan-friendly, again, sponsors engaged. Everything was easy to understand out there. But in your opinion, being out there front and center at the grounds, attendance, where were we at? Again, did we see kind of the same old kind of packed house out there? I mean, was it a full crowd out there at Frontier Park this season?
It was kind of an enigmatic crowd. We had some days that were off a little bit. Our overall attendance was flat to down a little bit for the rodeo, but we had days that last Saturday was a record other than the hundreds. We had over 14,200 people on Saturday. Sunday's attendance, final Sunday, was up 1,000 from last year, so it was really enigmatic. I don't know what to attribute that to. Maybe just some, the different crowd that came out for Post Malone wasn't ready to see a rodeo yet or something. I don't know if that was it, but we were really happy with overall attendance.
Take it for me being a part of that Post Malone crowd out there. Again, a lot of tweens. I don't think they're really into the rodeo thing, so they went probably down south or wherever they were coming up from.
Chad, you and your staff, they hear from everybody, but the Cowboys, along with the Cowgirls that come to the Daddy Mall Shine Frontier Days, what do they say to you in parting comments? Obviously, everybody likes the paychecks because this is one of the bigger paychecks that they get. Of course, they were over in Calgary, and again, we're getting close to these big daddy ones. But what do they say to you in parting comments about our rodeo?
Overall, they all, number one, it's still the daddy of them all. They all want that silver buckle with the oak leaf clusters on it. They want that buckle and they want that saddle. Overwhelmingly, granted, everybody that entered evidently wanted to be here. So when we talked to them, they were all relatively happy. Some of them really, really happy with the format. Others said, it's got a few things we want to work through, but it's going to be great. So they still love coming to the daddy.
How do you? And again, you've paid your dues with this committee here, and again now being the rodeo chairman. How do you move all these cowboys and cowgirls through? Again, we know we have slack, and then you got the big show during the afternoon. How do you get all these guys through without any hitches?
We we took a step this year. We brought back something that had gone away, as we took part of the parking issues onto our shoulders as a rodeo committee. We called it the Cowboy Concierge. As they came into grounds, there was a place for them to stop and get a little bit of direction on where to park. We were selling hay and shavings out of there and giving them a real welcome feeling that we were absolutely happy to have them there, because we know there are other places that they can go rodeo. And the old park, one day we had 500 contestants in there, and she felt a little bloated with everybody in there, but we held them all, so we got it all through.
I want to go back to something that you mentioned in a previous comment about this new tournament, at least style, again, having the Cowboys come up to you, Cowgirls, giving kind of, at least airing sort of the grievances towards you. What were some of the, at least, things mentioned to you, or at least what are some things that Cowboys wanted to tweak about this new format style?
You know, they're still looking at the way the money was split up, which I've got some figures here that show almost all of our event champions this year won more money this year than the event champions last year. The exceptions being the bareback riders and saddle bronc riders, but that's attributed to the fact that they lowered their entry fees, so that because they were only getting on one head. But aside from that, we paid out more money to our champions this year. You know, they still want to try to figure out a way to make it easier to get around other rodeos, because the way our turn, if we had 10 people or 12 in an event, we needed all 12 of them here. We couldn't let them trade out and ride the next day like we used to do. They had to find somebody to trade with, and that was a little difficult, but it was a very, very small portion of them that really aired that grievance.
Let's keep on the theme, at least not to cut you off, but at least as you mentioned, and thankfully you did mention it with saddle bronc riding, talk about at least one champion, a local product out of Hillsdale, but at least might as well be Cheyenne, Cheyenne's product as well. But how about 3 times a champion in a row at Cheyenne Frontier Days for one Brody Kress? Just talk about a phenomenal athlete and how great that is to see him do something special again 3 times in a row here at CFD.
Well, this rodeo is so hard to win. There's so many competitors in every event. You've got to have, obviously, a lot of skill. You've got to draw just right, and you got to have a couple breaks go your way along the way, and to do that 3 years in a row is just absolutely phenomenal. And then when you get your break, you've got to take advantage of it, and Brody sure did. All 3 years he's taken advantage of the little tweaks or little breaks he gets here and there, and now he's in the record books. Nobody else can say that at this point.
You know, how many Cowboys along with Cowgirls, do you have a number and then you cut it off, or is it unlimited? Hey, you pay your entry fee, you can come and play at our rodeo.
The answer is yes. We had actually different. We cut it off in all but one event. We had barrel racing was unlimited this year. We did that because we wanted to try this tournament style format. They wanted a little thing in return, so we gave them unlimited entries. That's part of the reason we moved them to Friday, to make sure the park could handle it if we ended up with 500 barrel racers, which we didn't. We stayed about the same number of barrel racers, but the other events are all limited, just mostly due to the fact that if we're running fresh cattle for them one run, we have to have a number that we can stick to when we go to a contractor and need cattle, because they're phenomenally expensive to buy extras to stand around in the pen and not do anything, so we have to limit it that way.
You mentioned Brody Kressel, so let's stay with him. His accomplishment again at Cheyenne Frontier Days, how does that vault him up into the standings for NFR?
Oddly enough, I looked just before I came down here, and he moved up from 28th before he got to Cheyenne to 16th now, within a couple thousand of qualifying for the NFR.
And again, it's based on monies, right?
Absolutely, yep. Money won throughout the season is how those guys make it to the NFR.
So, Chad, you know, obviously we're a big payday here during this time. Where would you think the Cowboys and Cowgirls are going to venture off next? Now, we know Larimer County Fair is going to be going on. We know the Colorado State Fair happens in late August. There's other smaller events that go on, but is there anything bigger for the Cowboys and Cowgirls? Not like us, but near us.
Yeah, the next bunch, you know, this is just like the PGA tournaments. They work their way across the country depending on weather and all the conditions they want to see. And these guys are now working their way west. They're going to go out into Utah and then head up to Oregon. Pendleton will be the next one that fits in our classes where they're headed next, and that'll be the middle of September.
So basically, again, more rodeos, more opportunities for money to be made throughout the 2019 year. But as we talk about the Cowboys and Cowgirls, what's on the radar for them upcoming? How about for you, Chad? I mean, now that at least the 123 is done at CFD. Obviously, we got 2020 coming up, at least now 365 from now, but what's on the agenda for you? Do you get at least any vacation time upcoming? I mean, are you going to be busy at least at the grounds getting ready for 124th?
We were talking about 124 this morning in the office. We had to settle up with some contractors and get them on the road, and we started talking about things we're looking at for next year, so it's already well underway.
You know, we've been talking about the Cowboys and Cowgirls. Let's talk about the stock. And again, too, you know, being the rodeo chairman, you have to look out for everything. You just can't sit there and go, hey, Nick, you did a great job. But let's talk about the animals. Again, I've been back there, so I know how the animals are cared for. But tell us a little bit about all of the stock, how they came through the run of Frontier Days.
You know, we had a phenomenal year. As you guys know, you've been out there. We have different sized recovery vehicles to take care of any animals that are injured or anything in our arena. None of the animals that got a lift out of the arena were anything but recoverable. We had, I think the number is 140 or something animals that were looked at by the veterinarian, and all but 2 of them are going to make a full recovery. It was an outstanding year from an animal perspective in that regard.
You know, talking about the stock that we get, and I remember we had a long time person who used to bring the animals to us. Do you have more than one company that we go with now to bring in the rough stock?
You know, we have a general contractor. It's just like the people that build our building. We had Ryman doing it, and then they had subcontractors. Stace Smith is our rodeo contractor, and then he brings in subcontractors to fill out the individual days so that we get the stock as even as we can get it. And if you guys were out there this week, it was phenomenal. Those bucking horses were... They were not only even, they were super high quality. The bareback riding every day looked like an NFR pen of bucking horses out there. It was just absolutely fantastic.
How does that go in? Something we talked with LCCC head coach Rodeo, at least Seth Galaus past week about, you know, how they maintain their animals and get ready for LCCC season, as it'll get underway here in about a month or so. But, you know, for at least CFD, is it a process that you get monthly reports? And again, something that you mentioned on air last year, or at least last week, about at least a new upcoming virus, I do believe, is going at least underway. Is it something where, you know, you subcontract, at least get those contracts? Do you get daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports on how the stock is healthy-wise? Are we avoiding viruses? I mean, is that something that is a process at CFD throughout the year?
Yeah, you know, no, it's really, we don't. We trust those guys. That's why we're paying them the money we pay them. It's their responsibility to make sure that they're going to have healthy stock here, and they've never let us down in that regard yet. So, you know, the state veterinarians keep us up to date on what could or could not happen, and thankfully this year everything was clean at CFD. We didn't have any issues out there in that regard as well.
Is bull riding still the number one ranked event for you, especially amongst the fans?
Yeah, it was last year. We haven't seen the numbers this year, but I see no reason it wouldn't be. They love to see it. It's just like a NASCAR race.
And PBR, again, no complaints on that?
No, it was awesome. I mean, and the bulls were bucking there just like they were in our arena. They bucked a lot of those really tough bull riders off that day.
You know, and it amazes me, too, especially with the night show, that, you know, and again, there's lights out there, but it's, to me, it's a different setting. I would think the bulls, again, during the day seem to be more ornerier, but at night you get more ridden during at night.
You know, and normally they do, but this year I don't think they did. It was those cooler nights make those bulls fire just as well, too. I mean, you'd rather play baseball under the lights when it's nice and cool than in 110-degree heat in Phoenix, I think. So the bulls are kind of the same way.
Well, Chad, we and again, too, I'm sure Mrs. Mathews is very happy to know that her husband will be back. We were kidding with Chad because, again, during the 10-day run, your wife's by your side, but you don't know who she is because you are going every different way. But I'm sure she's very happy to have her husband back here for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah, my wife, Sabrina, you can't do any of this stuff without the support of the spouse and the family. And we at times take it for granted, but it sure is a great blessing to have them standing with us during that week and taking advantage of some of the things we get to do.
And one last thing, again, too, it's not all you know, let's buckle up our Wranglers and, you know, get some boots and hats on. But you're also going elsewhere, too. You're still ambassadors for Cheyenne Frontier Days. What's on your travel plan?
The next place I'm going is kind of where them Cowboys are going. I'm heading to Pendleton in the middle of September to go out there and see what they do. They've taken a trophy away from us that we want to get back, so we're going to go see what they're doing different than we do to try to bring it back home where it belongs.
Well, Chad, on behalf of Nick and myself, we want to thank you so much for coming in. Congratulations on your first year as a Rodeo chairman. Looking forward to year number 2. And, you always could improve. So I keep that under your hat for us now. We'll talk to you next year about that, what's new and exciting at CFD.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys. We appreciate you letting us have a platform here to discuss the event, and we appreciate all the support from you guys in the community. Thank you.
Chad Mathews, Rodeo Chairman, CFD. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
To celebrate Taco John's 50th anniversary, our famous Sierra Chicken Sandwich is back. With grilled chicken and original Sierra sauce wrapped in a warm flatbread, the Sierra Chicken Sandwich is better than ever. Plus, we're giving you a chance to win $50,000, free food, and other great prizes with any medium or large drink purchase. 1 in 3 cups is a winner. Enter the code on the cup to see if you've won $50,000, free food, or other great prizes. The more you play, the more you win. Ole the day at Taco John's.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Under the definition of fun in the dictionary, they need to include 2 more words: Wyoming Downs. It's the perfect way to have fun with new and even more exciting simulcasting games on display, including Classic Heat, Great American Racing, Samurai Legacy, plus the Great Jackpot. That's just a sampling of fun that's happening today at Wyoming Downs. Make sure to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays, double points on Mondays. There's Mystery Moolah every Friday and Saturday, plus other special promotions going on at Wyoming Downs, with 2 fun locations in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Lincoln Way and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. Remember, for more information, go to wydowns.com. In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. You know, we're going to try to touch on as many subjects as we can, including baseball, where
we don't have to fit all of them in one day.
Well, no,
we have
but
4 days.
Post 6 still competing in Farmington, New Mexico. But it also...
We also have the state tournament going on up in Gillette, still underway at least today and tomorrow. As we whittle down that bracket, one of our guests is going to be live up there.
That's what I say. Cody Beers, Wyoming State American Legion Commissioner, going to be chatting with us as we will talk, without trying to make this a controversy.
It's more so of his thoughts on the Post 6 move to go down to Farmington.
It's different. It's something that's probably never been played out before.
Yeah, so we'll get his thoughts on that, talk about it as something that we've been curious about with now known as Triple Crown Wyoming, but again, formerly known as the Cheyenne Mustangs baseball out of Connie Mack, now in that Triple Crown League. We'll talk about, is there possibilities that we can have now with this expansion?
A crossover.
Again, a crossover between Triple Crown Wyoming and Cheyenne Post 6. Up there in Casper, can you have the Oilers taking on the Crush in non-conference action? I mean, we'll get his thoughts on that, get his thoughts on the state tournament, the maneuvering that had to go on, at least about that, his thoughts as well about this move with Post 6 moving down to the Connie Mack League, or at least not moving down to it, but at least going to compete in the Connie Mack World Series instead of competing for that American Legion title. So, again, there's plenty to
There's a host of
yeah.
questions to ask him, and, we'll see what's going down with all of that.
To get away from at least the baseball side of things on the local side for Cheyenne, how about for Cheyenne Extreme? As I mentioned, again, tryouts coming up this week as it is their second one, August 1st, over at Converse Softball Complex, 5:30 registration, 6 to 8 is the tryouts. Again, no tryout fee for the Cheyenne Extreme. So if you're a parent and your kiddo missed out on the July 16th one, again, don't fret. There is another one coming up this Thursday, August 1st. But along the lines with Cheyenne Extreme, something that Coach Adam Galicia did pass my way that I'd like to at least talk about on air, or at least mention really quickly. At least here we are in postseason play, at least for softball here in the region, at least a lot of all-star games being announced. So we'll talk about a few players that are going to compete down south in Brighton, Colorado, at the Colorado USSSA North versus South All-Star Game coming up this weekend. That'd be Ariana Galicia, one representative, Trista Stewine, and then Janie Adair were voted in and also selected by coaches to play in that all-star game. Jordan Harris, Kaylee Wilson, Maggie Sagetti will play in the North versus South Senior/College game, also happening this weekend. Coach Adam Galicia did not post where it was happening location-wise. And then also, regarding that senior college game, Adam Galicia was selected to coach the North team of that college all-star game. So
congratulations to Adam on that.
Yeah, so again, a lot of Cheyenne Extreme representation being a part of these all-star games happening up in the Front Range. Again, whether it is some of the younger classmen and some of the seniors trying to move on to that next level. And again, head coach Adam Galicia getting these opportunities postseason for the Cheyenne Extreme to put their name out there and make a little mark and moves down there, part of these all-star games.
All right, and again, the Extreme having tryouts, as you mentioned, again.
Yeah.
And will you mention that again for me?
What, you already forgot? It's August 1st. How about this Thursday?
Yeah,
again,
right.
5:30 registration time, 6 to 8 is the tryout.
I'm also bringing up other things here, too. Matter of fact, is you have a new poll that is out over on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Hopefully
you get a
want to
chance.
talk about the...
First off, I want you to like the page. Our Wyoming Sports Talk Today page. And again,
well, like and follow it, which is easy. Again, just simply searching for Wyoming Sports Talk Today, or it's facebook.com/WYO Sports Talk. Also, put up a Twitter poll. It's the same poll, but it's on the Twitter side. Again, find me on Twitter representing the show at NickWYO Sports, NickWYOSPORTS. Just simple enough like that. Again, we'll talk about the current poll, but at least regarding last week's poll, as we talked about for Cheyenne, if it was the possibility in the near future to see if we will be receiving a semi-pro, are you confident that we'll have another junior team, whatever it may be on the baseball, hockey, basketball, football route. Do want to at least mention regarding that poll, as our object, or at least my goal, was to get representation of the city, especially out of Cheyenne Parks and Rec, whether it was Teresa Moore, who was the manager, or also one Jason Sanchez. Did receive information from him today. that they are busy. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to them mid-August. So at least, again, we'll definitely get those answers, hopefully from one of those two entities, a part of the city, to figure out what is the direction for the Ice and Event Center for a possible new ballpark, and also, too, getting in these semi-pro leagues or teams to compete here in the Cap City. So, again, at least that's the update regarding that poll from last week. This week's poll, as we get ready for Media Day happening over at UW, coming up on Friday. So, again, there will be no show for us, as we'll be over in Laramie, as we'll hear from cross country, we'll hear from volleyball, we'll hear also, too, from head coach Craig Bull. But the poll that I posted for this week for you to at least participate in, just regarding about that, is about Wyoming Cowboy football. And it was essentially of numbers that I've recapped many a time throughout this past season. But basically, how I put it out there was heading into 6 seasons under head coach Craig Bull. Cowboy football has gone 28-35 overall, 19-21 in the Mountain West at least conference, with 2 bowl game appearances, 1 win, 1 loss, and again, the Mountain West Conference Championship, where that was a loss. If the Cowboys, however, this season finished below 500, would it be time for a new coaching direction for the 2020 season? So again, if they are to finish below 500, which we've talked about is a great possibility, again, Mountain West with the polls not too confident in this team to do anything special this season. Again, it is very young. Question marks on the offense and defense is a good possibility, but from what I can tell, again, about 50 or so combined on Twitter and also through Facebook, which, again, you have a few days left to compete in this, or at least kind of voice your opinion. Good majority are saying that if they finish sub 500, they don't foresee a new head coach.
2-1 right now, if I looked at the numbers right. You know, here's the deal on that. And again, here's another situation. First off, the Cowboys got bad news last week. They lost wide receiver Charles Johnson.
Yeah.
And again, CJ, a couple of years ago, big things were expected out of him, even as a younger football player. But again, he just can't bounce back. So this kid has a great pair of hands.
So, again, a great pair of hands that are no longer of use for the University of Wyoming. Again, for the Cowboys, as he has announced that he is retired from football due to injury's sake. So, right now, as we had question marks with the offensive line, question marks on the QB situation, running back as well, too, as we've had a few, at least running backs, leave the program as well. Right now, it is not looking any prettier right now for Cowboy football coming up in 2019.
But on the other side of the ball, too.
Well, again, defense, that is the biggest question as well, because you lost so many top-level talent due to graduation. You know, again, we'll talk about Logan Harris, but he's a situation of if he runs into injury, then what do you have on that defensive side that is already pretty much depleted and still up and coming and developing, part of the Wyoming Cowboys?
And when you say depleted, a lot of these guys graduated. They're gone.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but, and the thing is, it's a younger group with maybe a couple, 3 veterans out there. And again, you're going up against Mizzou, your first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to come in there and roll over and play dead.
No.
They're going to come out and they're going to look to shove it down.
Missouri is expected to be one of the top, or at least going to flirt with, be one of the top teams out there in the SEC. Again, not going to up it, probably either the Georgias or the Alabamas, but they're going to be bull bound. They're expected to have a good season, so to speak. So, again, chalk that up as a guaranteed loss here in Laramie. It's just not going to happen. This team couldn't even get it done last year against Washington State, who is probably not on the same level as Missouri coming in. So,
well, and you laughed at me because the last 2 times I said they should be competitive against Oregon, which they were, and then they just petered out in the second half. I thought they would do a lot better.
I mean, they got whipped in that game.
I thought they'd do a lot better against Washington State, and again, second
and you didn't believe me.
Yeah. This one here, I don't even give them a puncher's chance.
I don't even know what the line is at this point in time. And I would doubt lines to exist for this game upcoming, but it's not going to look any pretty. Again, this is, unfortunately for Wyoming Cowboys at home, this is not going to. There is little to no chance that the Cowboys pull up an upset against this team.
I think this is a better team coming in than the 2 Pac-12 teams, Washington State and Oregon, first and foremost. Second of all, I think this is a weaker Cowboy team. And again, I know they haven't gone through fall drills or summer drills yet. I know they haven't gone. But on paper, This is a weaker team.
This is a young, weak team where, again, big question marks where this team, like I said, they could flirt with Wyoming, could be a big determining factor of who's going to be 4th and 5th in the Mountain Division, at least coming up this season. So we'll see what happens. But also, too, it's something that I'm going to be curious to ask, or at least hopefully we'll get one.
Well, he's here to win Mountain West Conference.
He's not doing it this year.
I'm just telling you, these are the standard answers you're going to get.
What I'd rather get instead of these stupid standard answers from him is more so of give me realistic. You understand what your team is going to be. You understand what the Mountain West is developing right now with a lot of teams that are up and coming. You have your Fresno States that are now at least, consistent. Boise's always been consistent. Utah State's getting in that consistency. You have Air Force that's been developing up year in and year out where they're going to be a little bit better this year. Who knows what happens with CSU. And you look also, too, out of the west side of the Mountain Division, at least out of the Mountain West, where, again, Hawaii, big question mark, but they've been improving. Nevada as well, too, showing that they're improving. San Diego State as well.
Let's look at 4 teams that are reloading. Boise. Again, Boise's got a question mark at the quarterback, okay?
But Boise, again, when they reload, though, they do it pretty fine.
Utah State, we'll say, is reloading. Fresno State is reloading, as well as San Diego State. There's your 4 teams right there. Then you got to look at the next tier. Air Force is in that next tier. I'm going to put Nevada in there. I think they have put themselves in position to be in that next tier.
All right.
Okay? Hawaii is in that next tier. These are teams that are going to be possible bowl-bound teams. So there's 3 teams right there. So we're at 7 teams already. That leaves me UNLV, New Mexico, CSU, Wyoming, and San Jose State. That's the bottom tier.
Which I think is fair. I think that's where my expectations are for this Cowboys team. It's realistic expectations of this team's going to struggle to win. They're going to struggle to get and find victories, whether it is non-conference and also too in the conference. It's not going to be an easy route where you're traveling to take on Utah State, take on Air Force, take on Boise State. You're fortunate enough with CSU, you're fortunate enough with New Mexico, but again, taking on at least non-conference. Question marks with Tulsa, question marks with, or not even a question mark, but again, I'll say an automatic loss for Missouri.
You got to go to Tulsa. You got to go to, you got Missouri.
Texas State is a question mark.
No, Missouri, Tulsa. Then you got those 3 road games where you go Boise, Utah, Air Force.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough stretch.
So right there, and again, I'm not going to sit here and beat this horse again, but I'm just saying, it's just not looking promising.
Well, and again, going back to Craig Bull, and we'll be attending this at least media day over at UW coming up on Friday. It is more so of what I want to hear from Craig Bull is not that PR spin of trying to hype up fans. It's more so of what are realistic expectations for this team. Does he? And I would hope that he understands. I hope he understands that he has a young team that it is up and coming and developing. I would hope he would admit that and say, yes, we anticipate we're going to be on the outside looking in. It's going to be a tough route for this team to get to a bowl game. That's all I want from this guy. That's all. Again, is that something that all Cowboy fans should be at least expecting this season? I think absolutely. I think that's what you have to go into 2019, set your bar at of this is a team that's on a big outside looking into bowl game.
We're a work in progress. That's how he should state it to us.
Yeah.
Because, again, both sides of the football.
And no more of this, the cavalry's coming because you got the cavalry and this is what you got.
And these are your classes that you have brought in.
Yeah.
So
this is not Dave Christensen. This is not Joe Glenn. No, it is Craig Bull.
This is Craig Bull's classes. But the thing is, with the Cowboys, again, going on both sides of football, you're coming up already. You're coming into the camp banged up offensive line.
Yeah.
You've got a couple, 3 receivers, but you got to have somebody get them the football. I don't think
Sean Chambers
with your current quarterback, you're not going to get. You've got probably the worst offensive scheme. Now, again, I could be the armchair quarterback, but again, I say this, and matter of fact, this discussion was not.
You and a few thousands that were out last year that were booing that offensive scheme. This
discussion was happening this morning. Again, everybody will be in agreement. Josh Allen is NFL ready, hence that's why he's in the National Football League. Even as a sophomore, he did a lot of ad-libbing. folks, he ran for his life quite a bit and made great plays.
It was same with last year with Tyler Vanderwall.
His junior year.
Same with Nick Smith when he had to fill in for time for Josh Allen.
During Josh Allen's junior year, he was still running for his life
and
got hurt.
Well, I'm just saying that has been a consistent theme. It is something that has been, the Achilles heel for Wyoming Cowboy football for the past couple seasons under Craig Bull is the offensive line has really not gotten it done.
And Tyler Vanderwall is not that ready yet. He's not the Josh Allen-esque type of scrambler. But let's be real.
As he's a sophomore this year, a freshman last year, again, kind of tossed out to the wolves, so to speak, in last season.
He ran for his life every game.
Again, I see talent in Tyler Vanderwall. I do believe in his senior year, he could do something special with this team if he has the pieces. If also, too, he's not running for his life, that this offensive line gets developed in a good way. But Tyler Vanderwall has good talent within him. He just needs to develop. And again, tossing him out last year to the wolves, so to speak. Again, his freshman year really was kind of unfair, as we knew that the offensive line and the offense just had a lot of shortcomings, and we saw it last year. This year it seems like we're taking even a step further back on the offensive side, where offensive line, again, the injuries, as you mentioned, losing running backs, losing wide receivers. Question mark right now. Again, Sean Chambers is anticipated to be that starting quarterback, but will he? And also, too, for how long in this season? We've seen that go back to last year where, again, this coaching staff is not afraid to pull the trigger and say, hey, we're not liking what you want.
But look what they put in Sean Chambers, though. They put him in against teams that we should have beat, and we ended up beating.
Well, he got thrusted into his first game against Utah State where we knew that they were going to beat the Aggies here.
Yeah, but, Air Force.
Yeah.
Vanderwall had to come in out of the bullpen for the save in that one.
Yeah.
San Jose State? Come on. Really?
Yeah.
Again, you look at where he came in and was just, the phenom with this run option offense. But when he had to throw the football, that was a different story. And again, as you're finding out in the Mountain West Conference, yes,
and it seems like
establishing the run is a good thing. Firing the football is where you make your money.
Well, firing off that football is where you made money and you put yourself on the map, hence, i.e., of who's representing the Cowboys in the NFL right now, making a big name is one Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Guy who could toss the ball at ridiculous lengths, again, was putting Cowboy football on the map. What did he do it for? Yes, he has the wheels, no doubt about it, but what was it getting done, or at least what attributed to him being in the top 10 of the NFL draft was that arm. Was that arm strength?
And again, go and if you
what also too was picked apart of Josh Allen was also to his inaccuracies, but again that was due to the fact that he was passing
and he was on the run half of the time throwing. I mean, like I said, this is what Josh Allen did well. He ad-libbed. The Brent Vegan offensive scheme sucks. He basically had to make something out of nothing, and that's how he became. Again, he was NFL ready. He was able to challenge the big boys.
It's something that I mentioned last year, and we need to take our last break here soon. But regarding this offensive scheme, again, with one offensive coordinator, again, Brett Vegan coming down from being a part of Craig Bull's at least tenure up there at North Dakota State, being a part of that Bison squad. It is an offense that feels like it fits perfectly well in the FCS, but now here in Division I FBS in the Mountain West Conference, granted it is not Power 5, but it is not translating well.
It's a pro-style offense, but they have not been able to work out the kinks.
It is not
since they moved up to this level.
It is not fooling quality defenses. Clearly, it's not fooling even FCS quality defenses, as we saw the struggles last year against Wofford. It is something that. It's an offensive scheme that we've been pushing, and same with fans as well, too, with the Bluebirds that were out at War Memorial Stadium at a mini contest last year. It's an offensive scheme that needs to be burned, and you need to go back to, again, finding that passer, finding some way, if Sean Chambers is your guy, to not rely on his legs, but get some passes out there. Where, again, this run scheme, where it feels like it's kind of old-school Air Force at this point in time, it does not work. Ask the Falcons.
I still have to laugh, and again, Cowboy fans, I know sometimes it just pains you to hear when we say this. I have to laugh that we turn an 8-yard sideline pattern, 8-yard out pattern, and we got to throw it 50 yards just to get 8 yards. I mean, the development of the plays last year, and I feel bad for one time.
They were extremely predictable.
Yeah, they were extremely predictable, and they were painful to watch.
That's predictable for fans, for us in the media, again, up in that press box where, again, as we were attending these games, knew exactly the direction, where they were flowing to, all these plays, whether it was run or pass, you knew exactly. That's just us in general. Talk about defensive coordinators, scouts who have been spending plenty of time watching and researching Wyoming Cowboy football. If we think it's predictable, how easy is it for defenses?
Well, and this is what gets me, and I've said this for years, and I've made comments on this for years. What the hell game are they watching upstairs? They're up there with us.
Mm-hmm.
What game are they calling? What are they watching? You see
unless it's too high.
You see all those coaches come out at halftime.
Unless it's too high of altitude for them, or the oxygen's a little light for them. I don't know.
That's not even make light about this. I mean, it's like, what game are you guys watching? What play are you calling? If we are sitting there predicting the play,
yeah.
And if we are Joe armchair quarterbacks,
and it's nothing facetious. It is something where you attended a game, you know exactly what they're doing. You know that they're going to run on specific sides. You knew that, again, go back to third down plays where it was third down in lengthy distance. They were running it for whatever reason. It would get shot. It would get stopped about 1 or 2 yards. That's all the positive gain. Here comes out Cooper Roth, where he is, no surprise, again, at least on the Mountain West All-Team, at least preseason All-Team, at least anticipated to get a few awards or at least in contention for a few awards this season. He was thrust out there many a time last year because they were throwing these ridiculous plays and schemes that were so predictable that you punted so many times last season. It got to the point where it was pathetic, boring, and your fans let you know about it.
Well, and again, with the Cowboys this year, like I said, we'll go over there on Friday. We'll sit there and listen, which we do. And if Coach Bull wants to come on, and again, I'm not going to sit here and press him about, hey, if you don't win this year, that type of deal.
No, this is something that, again, just getting the thoughts of fans across the state, or again for Cowboy fans in general, of what are your thoughts? Again, we're bringing in Craig Bull, going back those years when he was hired on. It was something that was so big, or at least there was so much hype around it, so much promise, for this Cowboys program for football. It, in my opinion, has not delivered. Where is it so hard to ask for, again, where you see the Boise's, you see the Fresnos that are so consistent year in and year out. Why can't that be in Laramie too?
Well, and again, too, I'm to the point.
Where is the consistency of bowl game year in and year out?
I'm the same as you. I don't want to hear that the cavalry's coming anymore. I'm about bellied up on that. That was almost like when we had Joe Glennon, Powder River, Letter Buck. Put a winner on the field, okay? And if something's not working, maybe you as the head coach, need to get together with your staff and develop something that may actually work.
Yeah.
And don't sit there and tell us, well, I don't have all the pieces. You're the one who put all the pieces in place.
This is your classes. These are your recruits.
I didn't bring them in. You did.
Yeah.
So figure it out. And you better figure it out this season, because if you don't figure it out this season,
there's
going to be a lot of people out there going to call for your head.
Yeah.
And whether you care or not, because you're making piles of money, that's great, terrific. But you know what? Don't leave this program in shambles, because that's what you're right now headed towards. And again, they went 6-6 last year. Folks, they barely made it to 6-6. Take the Air Force game away, they're 5-7. Because Air Force had that one.
You got fortunate to win 4 games in a row because you took on San Jose, New Mexico, CSU, and Air Force, teams that were not known, again, teams that were down and out, and also
we lost
programs that are not known for winning in football.
We lost to San Jose the year before because Josh Allen was hurt, and Nick Smith started that game.
That was their only win.
How bad is that when you lost to San Jose State at San Jose?
Yeah.
So, again,
a school that probably should not be competing in D1 athletics, you lost to them.
Well. Again, I know we got to get in the break. I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to be in Coach Bull's shoes. I'm sure he's got a plan.
Again, the fire's not red hot. It's not burning under him right now, the coaching seat, but it's getting there. Every loss this season is going to add more fuel to that fire.
Add more coals to the fire. You got that right. All right, We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back to hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. Our special guest in hour number 2 will be Cody Beers, Wyoming State American Legion Commissioner, back after these words.
The message is simple. Drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Introducing Digital Wallet, a new way to pay with Platte Valley Bank. Add your Platte Valley Bank debit card to Google Pay, Samsung Pay, or Apple Pay, and have the ability to make purchases with just your phone. It's secure, simple, and accepted by millions of merchants worldwide. Try it today or check out pvbank.com for more information.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
We're working hard for your business. I'm AJ Miller at Kia of Cheyenne, and right now you could save on the 2019 Kia Forte. The 2019 Kia Forte is priceless, yet still offers standard features not found on most of its competitors. With Kia Forte, you can charge your phone with available wireless charging, voice command navigation, and 8-inch touchscreen to help sync up your world. Come into Kia of Cheyenne or call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Under the definition of fun in the dictionary, they need to include 2 more words, Wyoming Downs. It's the perfect way to have fun with new and even more exciting simulcasting games on display, including Classic Heat, Great American Racing, Samurai Legacy, plus the Great Jackpot. That's just a sampling of fun that's happening today at Wyoming Downs. Make sure to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays, double points on Mondays. There's Mystery Moolah every Friday and Saturday, plus other special promotions going on at Wyoming Downs, with 2 fun locations in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Lincoln Way and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. Remember, for more information, go to wydowns.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 83 with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low down to 54 degrees. Tuesday's forecast. Mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85 with a chance for showers and afternoon thunder. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and evening thunder. Our low dropping down to 57 degrees. And for Wednesday, mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it's hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It is being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open Monday through Sunday. Paisan cuisine at its best, from pizza to stromboli to calzones, and their delicious sandwiches always on fresh baked breads along with fresh ingredients. Oh, so good. Man, I'm talking myself into Mondello's right now. Can we get a to-go order? Mondello's Pizzeria in Cheyenne. First Year Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, see them for some special CD rates right now with garnering wonderful annual percentage yields. Again, banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service. You and me, always first and foremost. First Year Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, serving our community needs for over 25 years. Medicap Pharmacy at the corner, well, not at the corner, it's on Bluegrass Circle, right next door to Texas Roadhouse. So see Gene and the gang over there, open Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and from Menards, serving up 3 squares Monday through Saturday. And for a limited time, you must try their Smokehouse BBQ Bacon Sandwich and then wash it down with a Strawberry Passion Tea Lemonade. Or you could go there and have their traditional chicken sandwich, vanilla shake, and some waffle fries. You can call it good as well, too. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done high-technology way, the Nixter way, and everything in between. With all of the goodies that a bank offers, especially from Platte Valley Bank. See Rick and the crew over on the original location of Vanda High and the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Kick a few tires, take a test drive, take home the Kia of your dreams. This is the time of year you definitely want to buy because, we got to move out the 19s, make way for the 20s coming in. AJ said to me, I got to take some numbers off these prices, so you can see some special deals right now over at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. And we also want to thank Taco John's, where the Sierra Chicken is back. It is huge. It is delicious. And again, all Taco John's locations supplying that delicious goodie. Matter of fact, even the food truck, which is taking the place of the South Greeley Highway address, as it is parked right there most times in the Outlaw Saloon parking lot. So you Southsiders always can enjoy Taco John's goodies. And we get things underway. It's time for our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to Nick first.
From this past weekend with Cheyenne Post 6 competing down in the Connie Mack World Series in Farmington. Recapping Friday's games, 2 of them in pool play. First game up for Cheyenne Post 6 was against DBAT Texas. Lost that contest 11-2, unfortunately. However, Friday, game number 2 against the Florida Legends, at least for Post 6, got that win 15-10. For Saturday, 1 contest against the Colton Nighthawks. Lost that game 2-1. Sunday, bracket play, taking on Nashville Knights. That was a loss as well, too, for the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers by a final of 4-2. So with that loss, Cheyenne Post 6 does move down to the losers bracket. They will compete tomorrow at 10 a.m. against the Phenom Texas team. So again, it is win and you move on, lose and you're out completely of the Connie Mack World Series for Cheyenne Post 6. Also, do want to remind folks on the local side, again, as we mentioned many a time, but we'll remind you one more time for Cheyenne Extreme coming up this Thursday, August 1st. They will have more Cheyenne Extreme tryouts for the 2019-2020 season. No tryout fee. Registration happens at 5:30 p.m. at Converse Softball Complex. And again, tryouts are between 6 and 8 p.m. So again, Cheyenne Extreme tryouts coming up this Thursday.
Major League Baseball, it will be the Bravos and the Nationals at Nats Park when we get off the air. Diamondbacks Marlins at 5:10 this evening. Pirates and the Reds at Great American Ballpark at 5:10. 6 o'clock games. We'll have the Blue Jays and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. 6:40 for the Dodgers and the Rocks at Coors Field. Kenton Maeda for the Dodgers. John Gray getting the call for Bud Black's Rockies. By the way, the Rockies are currently 49-57 on the season. Oh, by the way, the Dodgers are 69-38. I say no more. 8 o'clock games. We'll have the Tigers and the Halos at Angel Stadium, Anaheim, and it will be the Padres at Petco hosting the Baltimore Orioles in interleague play. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I
we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
The end of the summer is in sight. Did you accomplish all of your home improvements and remodeling projects? Whether you're remodeling your kitchen or adding a little extra space for your growing family, the Home Equity Line of Credit with Platte Valley Bank can help you finish what you want to complete this summer. So stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a Home Equity Line of Credit with Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All lines of credit are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 83 with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low down to 54 degrees. Tuesday's forecast. Mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85 with a chance for showers and afternoon thunder. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and evening thunder. Our low dropping down to 57 degrees. And for Wednesday, mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and we want to thank him as we bring on our next guest for being patient during the break there. We bring on Cody Beers, the Wyoming State American Legion Commissioner. Cody, thank you so much for joining us. And again, you're at the ballpark right now. Again, it's state tournament time. Tell us a little bit. Matter of fact, update us what's going on in the Razor City.
Well, loser outplay, Gillette just doubled and knocked in a run here at the bottom of the first, and they lead the Jackson Giants 1-0. This is a first of two possible loser-out games today. Casper yesterday scored 5 runs in the 7th inning to beat the host Gillette team 6-3, and so Gillette and Jackson are playing in a loser-out affair now. The night game tonight will feature Casper, who's unbeaten, by the way, 3-0. They'll take on Laramie, who's 2-1, and Laramie's playing their best ball this season, and don't know what they've got left for pitching, but they'll give it their best shot today against Casper. Casper playing really good baseball in this tournament. This is game 12 and possible 15 games, but Gillette gets past Jackson, or if Jackson gets past Gillette, that team will have to win twice tomorrow over Casper to force, to win a state championship.
And do what?
Gillette was in this spot last year, and then Post 6 beat them twice on the final day in one state.
And do want to mention, at least with those Casper Oiler team, again, as you mentioned, undefeated. They've already guaranteed an automatic entry into the championship game. Again, game 14 coming up tomorrow. Again, is set for 12 p.m. Again, winner of between Jackson or Gillette. And again, as you mentioned, for at least yesterday's contest there, as we know that the state title, at least the state tournament is happening up in Gillette. Casper coming back in that contest, an epic come-from-behind win for Casper in front of a just rabid fan base, a packed crowd out there at Gillette at that stadium. So again, give credit to Casper, who was at the beginning of the season predicted to win the state, and looks like, especially with a rival foe of Cheyenne Post 6, not to kind of at least put a wrench, so to speak, in that state tournament, looks like they're kind of destined to, as we saw in the preseason, to win this whole thing coming up.
Well, this is a really good state event, and Gillette does a great job hosting it. Beautiful complex here. And we got the 8 teams here that are in the AA state tournament, and we're going to come out of here with a very good representative going into the AA regional next week in Lewiston, Idaho. So these teams are battling it out. We've had a lot of ebbs and flows. Gillette had to get a 2-out hit on opening night to avoid a big upset against Rock Springs, but they came back and then won the next night and then lost last night. So their backs are against the wall. Another good crowd here, not as heavy since it's the work day, but, it's baseball time, and we'll be at this AA tournament through the championship tomorrow, and then we'll head down to Douglas for the A-State tournament, and that's an A-State tournament. By virtue of Cody playing in this tournament, it's wide open.
We're talking with Cody Beers, Wyoming State American Legion Commissioner Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti. Cody, let's talk about this Legion tournament without the Cheyenne Post 6. Not so much a naked tournament, like you said. Things are going on without Post 6, but you can feel the absence.
Yeah, I mean, we had to make some changes last week, and we were able to get Cody, the winner of 4 of the last 5 A-State championships, to come in here. So I think we got the best possible field, considering what happened with Post 6 bowing out. But, I got to focus on the 8 teams that are here. These are the 8 teams that wanted to be at state this year. What Post 6 did was disappointing, but they made their decision. And, we've talked a lot about it here in coaches' meetings. What do we do? Because we need to maintain the integrity of American Legion baseball that goes back to the 1920s in Wyoming. Very strong Legion baseball program that keeps getting stronger because we have taken on the development leagues too. We're playing C Legion baseball, which is for ages 15 and under. We're playing B baseball. We got A and we got AA. 53 teams this year in Wyoming playing baseball, and we are looking at bringing in more teams next year with some former Legion programs that are no longer playing. So, we're strong, and we're going to remain strong, and we expect that Post 6 will be part of that.
Now, just speculating, Cody, and again, being here as long as I have, Post 6 has basically owned the state tournament, over the last few years, and they've moved on to that next level, the regionals, whether it was in Montana or Idaho, whatever the case may be. But they never could make that next step to the American Legion World Series. So they win this tournament here, and they get invited to a Connie Mack World Series. I mean, can you fault them for just taking that one step forward and getting to a World Series?
I don't really have an opinion that I'd like to share with you guys right now. I think my job is to get 2 state tournaments that are well known running in Wyoming, and so we're trying to get the best teams we can to work their way through the regular season schedules, through the conference schedules. I mean, I think the expectation all along was that that Post 6 would be part of the postseason in Wyoming. They made their decision, and I would hope and I would expect that they would be back playing American Legion baseball in Wyoming next year, and that they would be committed to playing the postseason. By the way, the postseason next year, Gillette will host the AA regional right here at Hawaii Stadium in Gillette, and I would think 2 Wyoming teams we might get one of them coming out of here and going to the Legion World Series. So, that's what we got to focus on, is the future and the health of American Legion baseball.
Well, it's something that we talked with Ty Lane about, this situation of winning the COPA tournament, getting that automatic berth to the Connie Mack World Series, as they're competing right now. Unfortunately, it's not gone the way they wanted to down in Farmington. But, something that Ty kind of at least brought to the table for us, maybe to kind of ease you a bit, Cody, of this whole situation right now is, at least for Casper, or at least for the state of Wyoming, here in Cheyenne, Post 6 is representing and putting Wyoming on the map of a historic route that they did for the first time in that Connie Mack World Series' history from this locale region. We have a team representing in Cheyenne Post 6, but with them kind of stepping aside and putting Wyoming on the map for baseball, especially American Legion baseball. But now where we are in the state tournament, it does open up for possible team, whether it is Casper, Gillette, Laramie, Jackson, again, any of these teams remaining right now competing tomorrow as well, that they could make their mark and establish Wyoming as the second team to make it past that regionals, hopefully, or also to make it to that at least American Legion World Series. So just talk about at least, again, kind of more focused on that positive side of, yes, Post 6 had been nice to be there, but now we have, with Post 6 stepping aside, another team has a shot to win this state tournament and represent Wyoming on the American Legion side.
Well, and I think that, Post 6 has enjoyed a rich history of winning state championships. You look at the numbers, and it's fairly amazing what they've been able to do. And last year, backs against the wall, they got it done right there at Powers Field. So, I think Gillette gave it a heck of a run last year. I think Casper has given it a heck of a run so far this year. Gillette's right in it. Jackson's in it. I don't know if Laramie can continue their run tonight, but, we got some really good baseball being played this week in Gillette, and I think Wyoming measures up very well around the region. It's tough because these other teams, have a chance to play more baseball. They have high school baseball in other places. But American Legion baseball is very strong, and this outfit here in Gillette has done a great job getting this complex ready to host the AA regional tournament. And I give my hats off to them because I think that'll bring some focus on Wyoming baseball next summer.
And again, speaking of that, at least AA regional happening up in Gillette, the Rough Riders get an automatic bid into the regional tournament with hosting it, again, for the 2020 season. So, as you mentioned, again, at least two Wyoming teams have the opportunity next season to compete in that regionals. But something that we've been curious about, we've talked, and we know the situation up in Casper where you do have the Oilers, and also too on the Connie Mack side with the Casper Crush. Down here in Cheyenne with Post 6 and now announced outside, again, no longer have the Connie Mack Ball Club of the Cheyenne Mustangs as they've transitioned into Triple Crown Wyoming, being a part of the Triple Crown League. A question that we've kind of posed to a few of these managers, and at least thankfully, hopefully, Cody, you can answer this. Can we foresee in the future, or has this plan been implemented where we can see cross kind of league play here in the state of Wyoming, or at least for Post 6 to take on more Connie Mack teams outside of postseason play? Could we see Triple Crown Wyoming versus, again, Cheyenne Post 6 here in the Battle of the Cap City? Can you see Casper Crush taking on the Oilers? Are those possibilities now in the future for American Legion baseball?
Those are discussions that are very preliminary for us at this point, but we're going to be talking that over between now and December and coming up with a plan. I mean, first and foremost, this program is about American Legion baseball and keeping it strong. I know there's talk about some of those Crush players coming and playing for the Oilers. The Oilers have been the premier team in Casper for years. Triple Crown baseball, I read the news release, same as you guys did, that was put out. I don't know what the future is there. I know that, my boy went down and competed in some of those events when he was 12 years old in Colorado. And so you've got that right on your doorstep in Cheyenne. And they're already, Post 6, Gillette, Cody, and Class A, they're already playing these teams out of state. Casper played a bunch of these teams out of state this year in tournaments. So you're invited to a tournament, you go down there and play these good teams because we need the games in Wyoming. Now, we have long held a policy in Wyoming where we don't play renegade, they're called renegade teams. Legion calls them that. We don't play these renegade teams that are inside Wyoming. And that's what you're alluding to. So That's a discussion we need to have because I'm not going to issue an edict. I'm going to listen. We're going to work on this as a group and decide what's best for the future of American Legion baseball in Wyoming.
Cody, real quick, it's been an interesting year for American Legion baseball, and again, this is the culmination of the season here, the tournaments that we have going on. Earlier this season, an incident happened with the Laramie Rangers, and again, unfortunately, and again, you look at the video that went viral, and again, you're going, hey, the Laramie guy got prodded into all of this bad things that happen. The American Legion credo, is at it's at the highest level, when you're participating in American Legion baseball. My question is to you, after this all came down, you are the commissioner, did you leave that into the American Legion post out of Laramie to handle the discipline, or did you have to come in and send down your edict, so to speak, on that situation?
Well, first, when we have discipline issues, we hear about it mostly from umpires if it's inside the state of Wyoming, whether we have ejections, whether we have things that happen on the field. This happened in a tournament in Spearfish, South Dakota, and interestingly enough, Laramie was playing a non-American Legion baseball team from Miles City, Montana. And I watched the video just like everybody else did. At that point, guys, I was still the assistant state commissioner. We worked our way through that issue. Sean Hamby from Pinedale is a Legionnaire, and he was the state commissioner. We worked our way through that, and then a decision was handed down by the state that, and not the commissioner's office, so to speak, but from the outgoing state commander of Legion, that this young man would be reinstated. The state commissioner, Sean Hamby, stepped aside, and I was appointed the state commissioner at that point. So I've basically acted as the state commissioner off and on for 2 years, but now I get to sit in the big chair, and we, which is unpaid, by the way, but it's a process that when you have something like this happen, you need to keep in mind that, and I tell kids this all the time, everybody's watching, whether it's through their cell phones, whether it's on YouTube, whatever it is. And so as a organization, we need to represent the ideals and the code of sportsmanship put forth from American Legion, not just baseball, but we need to remember who we're representing. And we're representing the many, many, many thousands of veterans, people who have served in wars, and so we need to show that patch some honor and respect. And if you go to our new website that we just launched this week, WyoLegionBaseball.com, you will see under that Honor the Patch tab a lot of the various things that I want to see from our players. And first and foremost, it's honor the patch on your left shoulder and respect the game. Now, I will tell you that I spent some time with this young man from Laramie at this tournament, and I will tell you that he made a mistake. He understands there are consequences for mistakes. He paid those consequences, and he is active as a player of the Laramie Rangers. He's a good young man, and I think he'll be just fine. He understands what he did was wrong, and when he crossed that line, he made a decision. And ultimately, we make decisions that we're accountable for in life, and that's part of becoming a man. And that's what we're trying to do here at American Legion. These state tournaments and the winning is great, but in the end, we're about building young men for the future of our great country.
Well, Cody, we want to thank you so much for joining us and appreciate all your comments, your thoughts. I want you to go back, relax, enjoy the games, and we'll see who's going to be crowned this year's champion. So we appreciate you joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Hey, thanks, guys. The A-Legion tournament starts tomorrow in Douglas, and then Cody hosts the Northwest A-Regional beginning August 9th in Cody. And more great baseball, and again, more focus on baseball in Wyoming at the regional level just coming up on August 9th. So thank you, guys, and I appreciate everything you do for baseball in the state of Wyoming.
All right, thank you so much. Cody Beer is joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. He is the Wyoming State American Legion Commissioner, unpaid, as he said. We're going to take a hey, you know what? That's what volunteering's all about, you know. And again, sometimes it's a thankless job, but we do appreciate him stepping in as the commissioner for American Legion Baseball. We are going to take a timeout. We will be back with more after these words here in 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
We'll work hard for your business, and we'll work just as hard to keep it. I'm A.J. Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and you need to see the new 2019 Kia Sportage today. The 2019 Kia Sportage offers numerous options and advanced driving features that help you know who is around you and how best to stay in control. Kia Sportage offers many standard features for the money. Some of the competition does not. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Thank you again to Cody Beers joining us live from Gillette as the state A Legion tournament going,
Double A
Legion tournament going on right now.
Again, Single A comes up at least here in a few weeks.
In Douglas.
Yeah,
again,
then Cody hosts the North Regional. Again, Cody was supposed to host the A as well, but again, Cody got bumped into Double A due to the fact that Post 6
they have an automatic bid in the A, so they will be hosting.
So basically, if anything, for the American Legion, hey, you have more teams representing at least Wyoming in postseason play because of this Cheyenne Post 6 situation. Again, moving down, being a part of the Connie Mack World Series, which again is still underway. Bracket play is still happening. Fortunately for Cheyenne Post 6, they are competing tomorrow, 10 a.m. in the losers bracket. Again, loser out. If Post 6 does lose that game, again, their season will be officially over. So
and don't confuse people, because the A tournament gets underway this weekend. And then they will move on to the Northwest Regional the next weekend.
But anyways, breaking down of what Cody had to say again.
There's some things, too, that you can read between the lines, and you and me were discussing this.
You could tell from tones. You could tell from some words.
He's not happy.
Again, the word that I key on was disappointment. He was disappointed at what Post 6 did. Even when we try to give those positive spins of at least saying, hey, we have more teams representing the state of Wyoming in these postseason at least tournaments, it still did not fare well. He basically, it was almost of, hey, this is tradition. Don't break tradition just to take so-called the easy route of at least, again, where you could define of what Post 6 did to get to the World Series Connie Mack side of taking kind of the easier route where it was the automatic bid winning the CABA tournament here in town. Now, again, also too talking about cross-league play, especially here in Cheyenne with Triple Crown, Wyoming, Cheyenne Post 6, as I've been pushing for, and I think a lot of fans would love to see this, again, the battle of the Cap City, and I think also too up in Casper between the Crush and the Oilers, you want to see this cross-league play. It writes itself where it brings out both fan bases, and if not, extra eyes to see this battle of two teams locally in town to see who's kind of the dominant baseball force. Again, it writes itself, but it is something that Cody talked about, that they'll talk about post, at least state tournament times here in the state of Wyoming, of will they move in that direction? And again, in my opinion, I think they should. Why? As it was interesting as the Legion referred to, again, Triple Crown Wyoming, again, formerly known as Cheyenne Mustangs, Casper Crush, any other teams in the state that are not a part of American Legion. The term is Renegades. Again, kind of an interesting term used by American Legion for outside teams, but it is something that it makes sense, so, especially in the remote regions, at least out here in Wyoming, and again, for these big communities, again, Casper, Cheyenne, where you do have these teams, these fan bases, why not cross those lines? Again, Post 6 has already been that redheaded stepchild, so to speak, that crossed that line, has now moved into another league, again, i.e. Connie Mack, being a part of a Connie Mack tournament as well, too. Again, let's not forget that the CABA tournament was originally supposed to be only Connie Mack teams competing here in town for the 5 years.
Right.
So, again, a lot of interesting things are going to happen this offseason. Same with that CABA tournament. Again, where we heard the word disappointment for Cody, does he have that edict? Does he pass that down to Post 6 saying next year, you're not playing in the CABA tournament anymore? Which, in fair enough, they could probably do that.
And again, don't know what his power is as the commissioner. Can he send that edict down to Casper as well as Cheyenne that, no, and Laramie,
Gillette as well. Again, 4 of those Allegiant teams came down.
And if that would happen, then you look at the CABA's down to, what, a 12-team, and nobody from Cheyenne's playing host.
Yeah, again, unless Triple Crown takes over.
Triple Crown Wyoming will take over.
But we know the relationship with that whole situation. Again, we talked to nauseam about that.
Again, Sheldon Baxter,
he wants to be a part of it.
He wants to be a part of it. So.
Even though they're no longer a Connie Mack team, but I mean, it's still an opportunity here in town. We don't know if they'll be busy with tournaments at that point in time when the CABA's here in town. So, again, a lot of interesting things are going to happen post of what has happened this season.
Don't want to open up a bunch of can of worms here, but like you said, the word disappointment comes out of his mouth.
Again, you just hear the tones of that. He is not happy with what happened with Post 6 making this decision to go down to Farmington.
And again, too, I'm sure that either he has been in touch with the American Legion board here in Cheyenne, or he will discuss this after the season is over. Again, as I said before, and I try to, and I'm not taking anything away from Triple Crown Wyoming, But, American Legion standards are pretty damn high. And you heard why these kids are playing for American Legion. They're not playing just baseball. They're playing for a purpose, to grow up into young men.
You could say that about the Mustangs. You could say about Triple Crown. Again, it is developed.
You heard it out of his mouth. American Legion's been around for a long, long time as well.
When you describe it, how you say it, you make it sound like the term that he used, renegades, or at least these other teams outside of Legion. That's what you kind of make it sound out like. Triple Crown is a bunch of renegade players.
I'm not
out
making
there.
this sound
renegade, at least coaches.
I just know the American Legion.
I'm just saying
is held to this higher standard.
Yeah,
again, both
they're held to a different standard than the other.
Chris and I both talked about it the other day when he was in here last Tuesday.
When we had Chris in, we'll have him in again tomorrow.
He didn't have American Legion. I didn't have American Legion in my hometown.
All right.
We went from high school to Joe DiMaggio.
Well, out here in the state of Wyoming, it's a dominant force. But again, we do have at least 2 cities here. Not sure about any at least other teams across the state of Wyoming. But again, in Casper with the Crush, and same here with Triple Crown Wyoming, with them being a part of their different leagues. Again, Crush part still of the Connie Mack. Triple Crown, or at least formerly the Mustangs, moving from Connie Mack to Triple Crown League coming up in 2020. So, again, the standards for all these teams, whether it's Legion, Triple Crown, Connie Mack, again, your standards, your level of expectations, your play, it's all there to develop these players into, again, moving them on the next level, making them the better player, making them a better person, growing them up to an adult in situations of being a part of these teams, being a part of these games, being a part of these tournaments. So, again, it's interesting to use those little factoids or use that little terminology for American Legion because, again, not saying that the Cheyenne Mustangs were out here causing fights left and right. It wasn't a brawl every game out there. No, they were playing with class. Mm-hmm. They were taking it with stride as games were tough. Again, it was a team that was young as well too. Freshmen, sophomores were still in that preteen, or at least that kind of teenage role where, hey, emotions could get a little high, a little rogue, but they kept it cool, though, throughout the season. Finishing, again, as they mentioned, sub 500, having rough games throughout the season, they still kept it cool. They weren't causing fights. They weren't involved in fights, as we saw one American Legion team, again, i.e. the Laramie Rangers.
And again,
which is a rare thing.
Yeah, and again, you go back to that game, and basically the Laramie Ranger guy, he got schooled. I mean, he bit. That guy kept gnawing at him, and then he finally bit and he lost it, and again, boom, he got busted for it. But the thing is, you go back here to
and talking about 2019 is going back to that Laramie at least game as they took on Miles City, as Cody talked about again. That Model Cities Montana team was not a Legion team. They were Connie Mack as well, too. So this is for 2020 for Legion baseball, or at least baseball here in the state of Wyoming, is going to look, in my opinion, probably a very, very interesting. And it's going to be very curious to see what the decisions, what the edicts are going to be coming up for 2020 baseball, including the American Legion, of will they just stick to American Legion baseball? Will Laramies of the world, Cheyenne, Gillette, whoever across at least the AA ranks, are they barred from taking on those renegade teams outside of American Legion baseball? Will that happen? Because look, again, talking with people and some of the negative press that's been garnering, at least going outside of the American Legion, it's not been good for the state of Wyoming. In some respects, in some regards to some entities in this state as well, of what's been happening in 2019 with American Legion baseball.
Well, the thing is, too, and like I mentioned in our opening segment with Cody, it's a different feel without Cheyenne being at the state tournament.
But it gives you new blood. Again, for me, I have no issue. It is
what
something.
New blood? Oh, you mean winning it?
There you go. As you mentioned, again, Cheyenne's pretty much dominated. We talk with Ty Lane. We have the understanding.
But also, too, you go back to when we were at the Bash, and basically Ty stood up and said, hey, we're not expected to win it this year.
Well, Casper was, and guess what? Casper's on pace to win it.
Yeah, but also, too.
And Casper's been pretty dominant, pretty tough against Cheyenne.
Throughout the course of the season that Cheyenne was building.
But they've struggled against the Oilers throughout the season as they've been building. So Casper's been a legitimate fit. Now, would Cheyenne cause them to trip up there in Gillette? possibly, but again, we can only speculate at this point in time. But it now gives an opportunity where, again, you're not having Cheyenne take on Casper for one position in the Northwest Regional. No, instead, you can have Gillette versus Casper to represent now. You can have Laramie. You could have Jackson. You could have all sorts of at least entities to take on Casper, which, again, Casper is guaranteed in the state championship game coming up tomorrow. But it is something where you, out of the state of Wyoming in that Northwest Regional, you're going to see new blood. You're going to give those Casper folks, you're going to give those Casper kids where Cheyenne has gotten year in and year out opportunities to showcase their talents up in Northwest Regional, where, again, in front of scouts, in front of college coaches who do come out for those events. Now, instead of Cheyenne getting the at least notoriety in the front and center showcase, where they're getting it right now in Connie Mack, at least down in Farmington.
Yeah.
Now you give it to Casper, Gillette, Jackson, Laramie, where they might have not gotten it years before or at all, and now they get this chance right now.
And again, too, I'm not going to sit here and fault Post 6 for going to this tournament.
No, I think it was the best decision.
I think, again, the exposure alone, and again, this is the first Wyoming team playing in this type of World Series.
The first regional team. Again, no one from Colorado has done this. Wyoming, Montana, they are the first out of this region
again,
to do something.
It's not faring well for the American Legion Post Sixers. However, when they come back and we get this opportunity to talk to Ty, and again, do they win tomorrow? I don't know. It's
Hopefully.
an elimination game. But the point is,
taking on a very good Texas
right
team.
now they're 1-3.
Yeah.
So hopefully Ty takes more out of that than when they go up to the regional tournament and they get bounced out of there in 2-3 games.
Well, again, for this Connie Mack World Series, as I mentioned, you're seeing teams from Texas. They took on a team from Florida,
California,
New York. You're taking on teams from around the nation that are also scouting players. Where, again, with Connie Mack, with a lot of these teams, as Ty alluded to when we last had him in, these are teams that scout players. They're not even just in those city limits. Again, it's throughout those states, those regions, that they're getting in top-level talent to play.
And not to diss the regional tournament, but, they faced Medford the last 2 years. They usually get a team in from Hawaii. There's usually, when it's been in Montana, they had a Montana team, the host team.
This is new talent for Cheyenne Post 6 to test their limits.
This is new. This is new territory.
And again, this is only beneficial for this program if they want to at least advance on to the American Legion World Series, get another opportunity if they can to the Connie Mack World Series. This is that level where you now have your first stint at it. You got past that kind of rookie year, so to speak. And now you know what's to anticipate coming up if you want to get to that level and bring a championship here to Cheyenne, where you now know, okay, this is how New York plays baseball. This is how Florida does it. This is what Texas brings to the plate.
Imagine the fanfare, again, as I've been looking at a lot of the pictures that have been sent back on social media. These young men, again, who are 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, may never experience anything like this again in their life.
They're the first ones in this region to ever experience this. And look at some of the top-level Post 6 teams of the past that have not had this opportunity.
And if they would have won it
look at the team last year that won 60-some-odd games.
If they would happen to win this thing, that's just gravy.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, again, what they're experiencing, guys only could dream about it. And I know we need to take a quick break, but, I think of the Little League World Series, just for argument's sake.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many teams play Little League baseball, Nick? You know how many teams that will never, ever go to Williamsport?
Thousands.
That's right. And think about what these guys are going to right now in Farmington, New Mexico, albeit Connie Mack. But the point is,
they're one of 12 that make it.
That's right, and again,
one of 12 in the nation.
These guys are going to have some stories to tell when they get back, win or lose.
Yeah.
All right, we do need to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We got more after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Did you know that in rural areas of Laramie County, electricity is reliable and affordable because of High West Energy? Based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is an electric co-op owned by the 10,000 customers we serve, and that includes F.U. Warren Air Force Base and 20 subdivisions around Cheyenne.
For more than 75 years, High West has been proud to play a part in the steady growth and economic development of this region while also contributing to local nonprofits, charities, and civic organizations.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Don't move firewood. Firewood can carry insects and diseases that kill trees. Remember to always get firewood as close to your destination as possible. Burn firewood where you buy or gather it. Trees in towns and forests are threatened by native and exotic insects and diseases that can hitch a ride in a load of firewood. Let's keep forests healthy so we can continue to enjoy camping, hiking, hunting, and fishing. Brought to you by the Wyoming State Forestry Division in cooperation with the U.S. Forest Service.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 83 with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low down to 54 degrees. Tuesday's forecast. Mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85 with a chance for showers and afternoon thunder. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and evening thunder. Our low dropping down to 57 degrees. And for Wednesday, mostly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 85.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, we're about 55 hours and some change away from the trade deadline, coming up on July 31st at 11:59:59.
You had one trade already, one at least big name that was just, in my opinion, the Marcus Stroman, just the trade to the Mets from Toronto, probably the dumbest trade I've ever seen.
Maybe the Mets are going to parlay that with something else.
Possibly. They got it. It was one of the trades that just came by where it was like, what was the thinking behind this one?
Well, general managers now are getting after it, and this weekend showed some teams that are out of it.
Yeah.
And again, we got the Dodgers taking on the Rockies. Sorry, fans, after dropping 2 out of 3 to the Reds, even though they're 5.5 behind the Giants, they're still 7.5 out.
How about in the month of July, one series win with one left again?
They have been horrible since the All-Star break.
You had 2 series against the Cincinnati Reds where your only win was at home against the Cincinnati Reds.
2 out of 3. So basically it's a wash. They went 3-3 with the Reds. You lost 4 to the Giants. You dropped 3 out of 4 to the Nationals.
Again, the month of July cannot end soon enough for the Colorado Rockies, but in August, will it get any more promising? Probably not, where the Rockies have pretty much, they're done. I mean, it is safe to say here it is July 29th, as granted, I'm beating a dead horse at this point in time. I said they were dead about a month ago. they're dead in their grave right now. Where this is a team where we're, again, as we mentioned last week, and it's still at least rumbling as we get close to trade deadline. This is a team that's looking to start selling. This is a team where we thought weeks ago was going to buy and attempt to do something, garner some sort of wild card spot. Well, I think they're far out of it at this point in time. But now it is a question of, will they sell?
I think they're going to sell. And, again, what they can package, I don't know. Will this team be a 500 team? Boy, that's a crapshoot right now. I mean, this team just never can get hot.
And without seeing the schedule in front of me of the Colorado Rockies, I would have doubt, again, you're going to see a lot of more, at least more NL West foes coming up.
Yeah.
Again,
August and September is usually when you do the West.
Where for the Colorado Rockies, they struggled against the West. It doesn't look promising against the Dodgers. You know that's probably a series loss. You know that you struggle against the Giants at home. They don't do, or at least they don't fare well at Oracle as well, too, as what we saw earlier in the season. So you still have at least, I think, 2 more series with the Giants coming up. Again, Arizona's still fighting for their playoff lives as they look up now. They look up, as ironic as it is, now up to the San Francisco Giants, who are ahead of them in the standings. Again, you have 3 competitive teams in the NL West that are going to basically stomp on the Rockies, say, hey, get out of our ways, give us some wins, and just stay in the basement at this point in time.
I don't say the Rockies have cashed it in, but the way they played this weekend, this don't look like a team that wants to go to the postseason.
No, and they're not going to.
So.
Again, I'll stamp that, again, as I keep on saying it, Rockies are not postseason bound. The shocking thing is that this is a legitimate, as you mentioned again, it's hard to believe that they'll finish 500. I think it's a realistic expectation now for this team that they could. And also, too, it's a realistic expectation for this Rockies team that they can finish dead last in the NL West, as hard as that is to believe. Where I think in our picks, and I looked at a curiosity that we had at March, you had the Rockies winning the West. I had them as a wild card team.
Yeah.
Here they are, dead last in the West. The Giants, for whatever reason, are in second place. Go figure that.
Well, and there's an ex-general manager who says the Giants are going to fold. I'm going to disagree with him. I think and again, who knows what's going on behind closed doors? Nobody knows right now.
The rumors we saw with Derek Harlan moving on, and again, that trade was already set in stone where Giants got cash considerations out of that movement where, again, Harlan goes up to the Chicago Cubs, if I remember correctly. The rumor right now, at least out of Giants camp, is that they're looking to move on with Drew Pomerantz to see if he can garner some bonus out of him.
And he's a pitcher, but again, Drew Pomerantz,
he's nothing too special.
He's like 3-9?
Yeah, he's nothing too special. So the Giants are pretty much fishing of, hey, what can we get?
If they're going to go 3-9, boy, you might want to get rid of the entire staff of the Rockies.
Well, and I think this is also a move to make way for Cueto to come back. Where if this is a team that's going to be legit and try to make that playoff move, you got to make spots, you got to make roster moves, and I think this is something of, hey, here's Drew Pomerantz. What do you want from him? What can we get out of him? Because we don't need him right now.
And again, too, as we threw out that rumor last week about Charlie Blackmon, nothing more has been said. Don't know anymore. Again,
our big recent trade was the Marcus Stroman move to the New York Mets from the Toronto Blue Jays.
And that's it.
And again, Blue Jays got a whole mess of at least picks in the MLB draft. That was about it. Some cash, I do believe, as well, too, part of that trade. One of the most bizarre trades I've ever seen.
And I also see the Phillies made a trade as well, too. But,
I'm talking big names.
I know, but I'm saying, nothing that.
Where we anticipated the Mets were supposed to get rid of Syndergaard, maybe DeGrom. Instead, they picked up another big name to be a part of that staff. Now, is this something that the Mets are future-proofing for next season or years, at least years to come of, okay, hey, we got the starting pitching here. Now we just need to get healthy outfielders, healthy infield, because that's what's been the issue for the Mets this year is that team has not been healthy.
And maybe some guys in that outfield may be on the move. You don't know.
One might be the local product. Where, again, with the injuries he's had.
Cespedes has had a healthy season in, the last 5 years.
Yeah.
All right,